Tao Te Ching 70. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet, your intellect will never grasp them. And if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. Tao Te Ching 70. Encouragement along the way. Welcome back. If you're coming back, welcome. If this is your first time, this again is a video series on the wisdom teachings of the Tao Te Ching. There are 81 chapters. We've done chapter 1 through 69, and this is 70. And this is a really short, very sweet Tao Te Ching, but there's much wisdom in it. There's deep wisdom in it. So let's get into it. Tao Te Ching 70. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them. And if you try to practice them, you'll fail. This is Wei Wu Wei, guys. And in many of these Tao Te Chings, I've discussed the theme of Wei Wu Wei, the concept of Wei Wu Wei, the idea of Wei Wu Wei. And that again is doing, not doing, being, not being. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Nothing is left undone because the doer has transformed wholeheartedly into the deed. The game plays the game, the poem plays the poem. Not being able to tell the dancer from the dance. Non-action is actually the purest form of action. A good athlete can enter into a state of bodily awareness where they're not so much playing the sport, but the sport is playing them. A basketball player dribbling a ball and shooting baskets isn't so much, the basketball player isn't dribbling the basketball as much as the basketball is dribbling itself. And they aren't shooting the basket and making the swish and making the point, other than the basketball just simply going into the basket. You see, it's like an instinct kind of way. It's a not doing more than a doing. It's Wei Wu Wei, doing, not doing. And Tao Te Ching 70 says, my teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try and practice them, you'll fail. It's because you're trying to practice them. You're focusing more on the doing and less on the non-doing. You're focusing more on the action and less on the non-action. True words seem paradoxical, says the Tao Te Ching. I wonder if you're beginning to understand this concept of Wei Wu Wei. I pray and I hope that if you've listened to all of these Tao Te Chings, up from 1 through 70, that you do understand Wei Wu Wei. I believe that I've used plenty of references, and I've talked about commentaries, and let's just read this one more time and potentially it'll sink in. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. Are you able to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving until the right action arises all by itself? Simply stay at the center of the circle and let all things come and go effortlessly. He lets all things come and go. His heart is as open as the sky. Your intellect cannot grasp the Tao. Your intellect will never be able to grasp it. You have to move beyond your understanding, beyond your intellect. beyond doing, and you have to get into the realm of not doing. Moving on. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? There's one Tao that I love that says, the Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make him luminous? How can he understand it? And it simply says, because he lets it. He lets the Tao be luminous. He lets the Tao be understood. He doesn't try to understand the Tao, he just lets it be. And he then understands the Tao. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? This is coming up. What's coming up is the key, you guys. And I've discussed it in many of the Taos. But the Taos are repetitive. They do discuss the same themes over and over because they're spiritual techniques. And it's a reinforce and a doubling down and a tripling down and a quadrupling down. Times 5, times 10, times 20. It just keeps doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on these themes because these themes are how you master the art of living, which the Tao proposes one to be able to do. The master has mastered the art of living, and you and I are all potentially the master. And what does the master do to master the art of living? Well, this is it right here. If you want to know me, look inside your heart. That's it, guys. What does this mean? It means run to your center is what it means. It means hold on to your center is what it means. It means run to the core of your being. Run to your center, to the center of grace within your heart, where grace resides, where the kingdom of heaven is within, where Jesus makes a home inside of your being. The center of your heart. This is where you run to in order to understand. In order to have ease of life, in order to have flow of life, you run to your center of your being. You run to the center. You hold on to the center, and you never leave the center ever, for any reason, ever again. You run to the center and you never leave. You hold on to the center and you stay. And that's what it is. That's the spiritual technique. That is how you become a master of the art of life. That is how you embrace Wei Wu Wei. The whole being, not being, totality within yourself. This is how you master Wei Wu Wei, by running to the core of your being, running to your center, and never leaving. Jesus operated like this. Jesus was the greatest master of all. He was the master of all masters, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I pray that you are confident and you are balanced and you are centered. And you're not seeking too hard to understand, and you're just allowing it to be understood. Truth is eternal, and it will remain if you just simply allow it to remain within you. Guys, the world is changing. The age that we're in is shifting. Positivity is on the trend, even though there is much darkness around. I wonder if you can feel it. I wonder if you can perceive it. Is the world vibrating differently? Is the world warming differently? Is the frequency upping? I pray it is. I pray all of us listening to these are sending out many prayers that is indeed the case, and that we move out of an age of darkness and move into an age of love. Jesus came for love. That's the only reason. So it is all about love, you guys. I pray you've been blessed by this message. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, I love you all. Bye.